Hey guys, my name is Greg Sabat. My wife Tina and I live in Ellicott City, Maryland with our three kids. Most of you know them, Sebastian, Julian, and Gia. And I'm originally from Haiti, and my wife is from Gary, Indiana. I want to share with you a dish. It's a Haitian dish. It's going to be rice cooked with pigeon peas and with ground beef and sauce on the side, and also with boiled plantains. Now, most of you have had plantains before where they fry it and they flatten it and fry it, and it's called tostones in Spanish. But I'm gonna make it very simple, and I'm gonna be using some basic ingredients that you can find, in regular stores like Giant or Safeway. And the prep time took me about 20-30 minutes to prep, and it's gonna cook about 30 to 40 minutes to cook the item. I hope you enjoy it. You can have fun with it. I'm gonna be substituting certain things, but basically I sent the recipe prior to this video so you can follow along, okay? I hope you enjoy it and have fun with it. Take care. This is my son Julian. He's gonna be helping with the video. Smile, dude. This is what we call pickles in Haiti. It's basically pickled cabbage and vegetable and Scotch bonnet or habanero in vinegar. And we use it as kind of like a condiment. We put it on top of meat, rice, anything that you want to get a little kick. So the way you make it is that you put all that in a jar and you let it ferment. You can keep it on the counter or in your fridge for about a month or two. And it'll get real spicy, okay? But this is not something you will make with the food because you need to let it sit for a while, and it has a great taste. Okay, it's called pickles. Okay guys, here are the ingredients we're gonna be using. So you see olive oil, adobo, you got cumin, tomato paste, paprika, black pepper, garlic, and in this little red cup is the sugar I'm gonna put in the ground beef. You got the pigeon peas, you got a little bit of soy sauce, some water for the ground beef. We have the rice, the oil. I'm using olive oil, but you can use whatever oil you want. The rice, I'm using jasmine rice, but you can use whatever you want. The reason I'm using jasmine, because jasmine is a very flavorful rice, so I love it. I have ground beef right here. It's about a pound. And over here, I have chicken broth. That's not in the recipe, but I'm gonna use it because it's a leftover and I don't wanna waste it. And you can cook with it as well in the rice. So I'm gonna substitute some of the chicken broth for the water, okay? And over here, I have the spices for the rice, and the vegetables for the rice. And over here, I have the vegetables for the ground beef. Okay, I'll be smashing the garlic. It's really soft right now because I put it in the freezer and it softened the garlic. I froze it and then now I thaw it out, so the garlic is really soft. That's a little trick I created. Okay, and then over here I have this pot right here. This is an old pot. It's actually my mom's. I would say it's probably about 45 years old. In Haiti, they call it chaudière. You notice that it's not aluminum. It's almost like a cast iron. Look at that. Look at the bottom. Burnt. You can't even clean it. But it makes the best rice. You can find similar pots like this in the Hispanic stores, in the bodegas. They have them. At least in New York, they do. But I think Tina found one here locally as well. This pot in the back, I'm going to boil the plantains in there. And then this one here, I'm going to do the ground beef. I'm using a non-stick. Okay, basically try not to use aluminum because the food sticks in it a lot. So we're gonna get rolling. Okay, that's all you need. I got my spoons right here. I have my knife, and we're ready to roll. Okay, guys, this is the plantains. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna cut the tips off. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna score it. I'm gonna score it like this a few times, and the reason I'm scoring it is going to be easy to peel after it's cooked. Okay, and then I usually do like a third, or you can do half like that. That way it's easier to manage to put it in the pot. Now I have the pot in here you know, boiling. It just started boiling. And what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Okay, all right. And then I'm gonna let this sucker boil. All right, guys, the next thing I'm gonna do is the rice. I'm gonna start with the rice. The first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the oil. It's a 1/3 cup of oil. And I'm gonna drop some parsley. I prefer red onions because it has a little sweet taste. Again, it's a 1/4 of onions. This is right here, scallions. It's not in the recipe, but it's another form of onions. We had it left over from another recipe we did. I don't want it to go to waste, so I'm gonna add it in there. If you don't like scallions, don't use it. Or if you don't like onions, use scallions, whichever. This is cilantro. I'm putting the cilantro in there as well. Now, this is the habanero. It's in a hole. What you do is just poke it a few times. Don't cut it because it's super hot. So just poke it like that. And what you want, you just want the flavor. You don't want it to be super hot. I'm gonna just drop it in there. Now this is the garlic. I know I said about 3 cloves or 4 cloves. I like a little bit extra garlic. I'm just gonna smash it real quick with the fork. You see that? The reason is the garlic, this is fresh garlic. This is fresh garlic. But the reason it's soft is because I froze it and then I thawed it out. So now it's nice and soft. Okay. I'm gonna put it in there. Okay, everything is there. And if you look at the heat, look on there, it's like on pretty much like medium. I can turn it up a little bit more like this, but you have to keep an eye on it. All right. And I'm gonna stir this up a little bit. Okay, there's nothing happening right now. You're just mixing it up. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna start adding the other stuff, the garlic. Now I know you don't have to be exact, but I like to. I'll add a little bit of garlic. Even though I have fresh garlic, I like powdered garlic. Oh, it's starting to sizzle. That means that it's gonna start cooking up. I like a little bit of black pepper. Okay, you can put as much or as little as you want. Okay, I like to put cumin. Okay, I can put cumin on both. I think I had it just for the ground beef, but I'm gonna put it in here as well. It's a nice flavor. Same thing with the paprika. I like to add a little bit. It gives it color too, the rice color. All right. And I'm just gonna stir it up. Now it's starting to sizzle. And you see the habanero or the Scotch bonnet is just in there. There's nothing big about it, you know, but you just let it sizzle. You see that? And it's a nice little aroma in here right now. And you just keep stirring it. And it's sizzling because, if you show them the heat real quick, Julian. You see the heat? It's a little high. It's like medium high. It's not like super high. Okay. Can you point out the plantains real quick? The plantains, I forgot to mention, even though it's on the recipe, we're gonna let it boil for about 20 minutes, okay? And then I'm gonna let it sit. Okay, back to the rice. Now it's really starting to smell real good in here. I love garlic, but if you don't like garlic, you don't have to use as much as me. But garlic, you know, I put garlic in everything. I'm talking about everything. Rice, meat, macaroni, and everything. Now, as you can see, okay, I'm gonna let it take color. It's not, you know, it's cooking, but I'm letting the veggies brown up a little bit. See that? I'm smashing the garlic. But if you want to smash it even more, like I have a garlic smasher, I just didn't use it. Now the habanero, it looks like it's not doing anything, but it's actually infusing in the oil. Ah, smelling really good. All right. See, it's not that hard. You see, it's gonna give the rice some color. You see the green, the parsley, the cilantro, all that. Even the extra scallions I put in there. All right. Now you notice I didn't put the peas in there because I'm using the peas, this pigeon peas right here. That's from a can. I prefer like the bags, but it takes a lot longer. I figured this would be easier for newbies to try in a can, and it doesn't matter what brand you use. But they also have them in a bag where they come dry, but you have to soak them, and then you have to boil them and all that stuff. So that's for advanced cook chefs. Anyways, all right. So you see how it's boiled? It's pretty much sizzling right now. That's how I like it. Now, I can use water. I'm gonna do 2 cups of rice, but I'm gonna use this right here. It's also good. It's chicken broth. You can use chicken broth. I'm only using it because we had it left over from a different dish that Tina made. So I'm gonna do measuring 2 cups. All right, I'm putting in here. I'm gonna turn the heat on high now because I want it to start boiling. Look at, show them the heat, okay? I have it on high now, and I'm gonna do the 3rd cup. I might as well use it. Let's see. Oh. Actually, this is a cup and a half. This is 2 cups. And then half. Yeah. Now I have 3 cups in here. All right, now I'm gonna keep stirring it. Now, I'm gonna just taste it to see if it has no salt. So I'm gonna add the adobo. And I could have added the adobo before. Okay. Again, I don't measure much, guys. I know, approximately, because I've done this so many times. All right, I'm gonna taste it again, just to make sure. Okay. I'm starting to taste the Scotch bonnet. All right, even though I didn't even open it, but it's giving the water a nice flavor. Now, you see that color? Isn't that cool? So I'm gonna let it start boiling. Once it starts boiling, that's when I'm gonna put the rice in. So let it fizzle a little bit. Now go back to the plantains. The plantains starting to boil. When it starts bubbling, I'm gonna lower the heat because if I don't do that, it's gonna spill over. Okay, back to the rice. All right. All right, now you see the water's boiling now. I'm gonna taste it one more time to see if the pepper. I'm gonna leave it in there a little bit longer. It depends on your taste. And right now I'm gonna add the 2 cups of rice. Again, it's jasmine rice. I still have the Scotch bonnet in there because I want a little bit more flavor. And you can actually, squeeze it a little bit because some juice got in there. Just squeeze it. Just don't smash it. When you squeeze it, that means it gets a little bit more kick comes out of it. But you see, it's still whole. I don't wanna break it up. I'm gonna leave it in there for a couple more minutes. All right. All right. You see that? The water's starting to dissipate. I'm gonna taste it one more time. All right, it has a little kick to it now. I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna put it on the side because I'm gonna use it for the ground beef. We're gonna keep letting it boil down, the water down. You see the water is going low. I'm gonna lower this to about medium. You see that? Bring it back up. You see the little holes? When you start seeing little holes like that, I lower the heat and I'm gonna add the pigeon peas, and I'm gonna stir it up. All right, and I'm gonna bring the fire down even more. I'm still stirring it. You see the flavor? Look at all that. Look at the color too, man. All right, now pretty much all the water's gone, but the rice is nice and soggy. I usually just flatten it out like that. And then I usually just add a couple more. It's not in the recipe, but you can do that. Cilantro, if you like cilantro. It's just gonna add the flavor to it more. Okay, and then now I'm gonna cover it. Boom, and look at the fire. I'm gonna lower the fire to like this. All right, so basically low heat to medium low heat, I guess. All right, plantains is still boiling. It looks pretty good. Still got about maybe 8 minutes left. We're gonna keep it, let it boil slow. All right, we have the ground beef now. We're gonna start while, this is gonna be a good 20, 30 minutes. This is the ground beef. I have it on medium high right now, okay? And I'm gonna let it do its thing. I like smashing it because I don't like big clunky stuff, you know, beef. So we're done with the rice, guys. So I don't even need to touch the rice for another 20 to 30 minutes. All right. The ground beef, I'm gonna keep stirring it, and I'm gonna start adding some of the ingredients because I want it to cook with it. I'm not gonna put the Scotch bonnet yet. This is the powder. All right. Oops. Powder, black pepper. All right. Just a couple pinches, maybe a little bit more. I like paprika. Paprika. All right. And definitely cumin. Cumin, guys, has a nice, gives meat a nice flavor. All right. I'm gonna stir it up a little bit. Oops, wrong spoon. There you go. The meat is starting to turn brown, which is good. And then what I'm gonna do is that right in the middle, I'm not gonna put, this is sweet peppers. You can use green peppers if you want. I'm gonna put the onions, the parsley, the garlic, and the cilantro. I love cilantro. Actually, the whole family likes cilantro. Okay. And I'm gonna put it right in the middle so it can do its thing. The main thing is that you don't want to get it clunky, get the beef clunky. So I'm constantly moving it around. Oh, look at that, it's starting to smell really good. Now with the garlic, I slivered it instead of crush it, but you can crush it if you want. I see a big piece I missed, so I'm gonna slice it up real quick. There you go. There you go, get the flavor out. I still haven't put the habanero because I don't want it to have a too big of a kick. The heat is still on high, but it's not burning because I keep stirring the beef. See that? Can you get a close-up? Yeah, look at that. It's still red, so I'm gonna keep it cooking. Once all the red is gone, then I'm gonna start adding some other stuff like water. Yep, water. Water and a little bit of soy. All right. The heat is still on high. Okay. I'm gonna add water. All right. And also, I'm gonna add some tomato paste. 1, 2. That's all. And I'm gonna let it boil. And basically the tomato paste to give it some color. And you know, the tomato gives it flavor as well. And I'm creating the sauce. I didn't use any oil because the beef has fat in it. This is, even though this is 90% fat free, I'm gonna let it start bubbling. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of soy. That was a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. You don't have to put it in there. And I'm also gonna add some adobo in there for flavor. All right, just be careful with the salt because since I put the soy sauce in there. All right, and I'm gonna let it bubble up again. All right, I'm gonna add the Scotch bonnet in here to give it some flavor. You notice I didn't put it in right away. I'm gonna let it cook in there. I'm gonna squeeze it a little bit, get some of that juice out. You don't want it to be overbearing. Now you see some of the garlics in there. If you don't like the garlic, you don't have to, but I'm gonna taste it a little bit to see. Okay, that's some good flavor. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add the Splenda. 1 tablespoon of Splenda. You can use brown sugar if you want to. You don't have to add it. By using Splenda, there's no extra calories added. And I'm just gonna squeeze the Scotch bonnet. And you have to be careful. You don't want it to open all the way up. Get the seeds all out. Let it fizzle, bubble. And then I'm gonna add the sweet peppers. The reason I'm adding it late because these cook really fast. So I'm adding them now. It's gonna add some nice flavor to it. At the same time, it's gonna give it some color. All right, and all right, the plantains are pretty much done. I'm gonna turn it off. And I'm just gonna let it sit in the water. But look at this. You see that? By me scoring it, look at how easy it opens up. You see that? Look at how easy. Okay? All right. We're gonna let this bubble down a little bit. This thing is bubbling, so I'm gonna lower the heat. I'm lowering it. Can you catch it, Julian? Very much almost on low medium, basically. All right. I'm taking this out because it has a little kick to it. Now, you see the excess oil? You can drain. Sometimes I drain it out. I drain the oil out because I don't need all that oil. And that's all from the beef, actually. You don't want to take all of it out because you don't want the meat to be super dry. But that's what I do. You don't have to do that. Okay. All right, it's done. It's pretty much done. I'm gonna let it simmer with super low heat. Show the heat, Julian. Boom. And pretty much that's it. Okay, guys, and there you have it. Rice with pigeon peas, with boiled plantains, and ground beef and sauce. I didn't put a whole lot of sauce on this dish, but you can use the sauce from here, and just put it on your rice. Okay, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know how yours turn out. Take care, bye-bye.